What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast, coming to you live. Well, actually, today is recorded, but you get the point. Coming to you from the Uncle Steve Shake Studios in Center Bonstead, New Hampshire. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Well, like I had said, we're recording this on Sunday morning because it is officially kicked off our crazy season at the post office with the packages and mail volume and all that good stuff. And for any of you out there who have always questioned the authenticity of my statements of how we go crazy, today's guest can vouch for me. Not only a fellow podcaster of his podcast, the Christmas Clatter podcast, available Apple, Spotify, wherever you get it, YouTube, but also a friend and also a brother letter carrier. So he can vouch for every word that has ever come out of my mouth on how we go wild during the Christmas season at the post office. So without any further ado, let's bring him on. Ladies and gentlemen, from the Christmas Clatter podcast, please welcome my good friend and brother, Todd Killian. Todd, what's up, brother?
Not much, Johnny. Thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no worries, brother. Like I said, we tried to come up with a couple dates last year, and like you said, am I lying?
Well, I'm going to say this. Of all the stuff you've said about the Postal Service for your listeners and viewers out there, whatever you have in your mind, times it by at least 10, maybe 100, because it is a tough job to explain to people who aren't in there every day and dealing with all the alphabet soup of bureaucracy we have to deal with. So,
oh yeah, it's fill this form out. What do you mean you need 2 hours?
Yeah.
What do you want me to tell you?
Yeah. Me and Johnny could sit here and have a conversation and just say letters and numbers, and we'd know what each other was talking about.
we could start the post office podcast, but we'd both probably get fired for doing it. But yeah, I'm excited about today. Like I said, we're kicking off the Christmas season, and during Christmas, I always record episodes ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
Usually on Veterans Day, because I got to have the day off.
Right.
But with leaving the studio and doing it from the house now, it didn't quite work out that well. So we're doing them. We're trying to record on Sundays to post them up on Monday at the normal time and all that good stuff. So, like I said, is Christmas with barbecue? Not exactly. But like I have said for the past 5 years, it's the Pit Life Barbecue Podcast, where we talk everything barbecue and a lot of other things you talk around the pit. Christmas, obviously, being one of them. So we're going to have some fun. I like to have the December episodes. I just like to have fun with.
Yeah.
So getting to talk to you today is going to be an absolute blast. We're going to get into some traditions, what you like to do, what you have a very interesting tradition actually coming up, which, a man of my stature, with my chiseled physique, this day works well.
Yep.
But and then we'll get into a little controversy.
I love it.
Much like the beans in chili in the barbecue world, of a specific Christmas movie. But Todd, please tell everybody listening and watching, who you are, how you got into the podcast, family, wife, kids, pets, alligators, whatever you got going on.
Well, I've been a letter carrier for 18 years now, married, 4 kids, a dog. I started Christmas podcasting. Being a letter carrier, you have a lot of time by yourself. And so kind of got into the podcast realm, and I've been a Christmas nut for basically my whole life. I get that honestly from my mother. And as the guy at high school that would take one of those big rectangle batteries, like 12-volt battery things, and put Christmas lights in his locker and all that stuff. And so I was walking around. It was getting close to Christmas time. I was like, there's got to be podcasts about Christmas. So I looked some up, and there were just a handful at the time. There was Christmas Past by Brian Earl, Can't Wait for Christmas, Tim Babbs, Tis the Podcast with those guys in things, and binged through all of them pretty quickly. And I thought, man, I'd like to talk about Christmas. That way I don't drive my family nuts all the time, and so I got in touch with Brian Earl, Christmas Past, and he helped me through it and launched Christmas Clatter in May. Doesn't really go to my show my intelligence. I launched a Christmas podcast in the month of May of 2019, but it worked out well, and then I've been doing it consistently ever since. The schedules changed somewhat and things, but and really enjoy it. Moved to still available as a podcast, but there's the episodes I live stream on YouTube because I like to talk about the Hallmark ornaments, and it's just easier to show them than it is to describe them. Podcast only. So yeah,
nice. Yeah, but like you were saying, out on the street all day, and that's how I got into listening to podcasts. And I was racking my brain all day yesterday after we had we had messaged back and forth trying to set the time. And I'm like, how did I find your podcast? For the life of me, I cannot remember, but it's leaning more towards one of those, you're in the Christmas time, you got everything going on. And I think it was one of those, just the searches, what is out there? Because it's very similar to me when I started this. It was, okay, let's see what's out there for barbecue podcasts. And you saw, the whole list came up.
Right.
So it was kind of one of those. And I'm like, Christmas Clatter, okay. And I listened to it would have been the latest one at that point. And I really enjoyed it. So I literally went all the way back, started at number 1 and worked my way all up. Now that had to have been about 2 years ago. And then, like you said, you had started with the YouTube, which was good because you get the chat going, and
that's always
and you end the show, but the room is still live on YouTube, so you get a little side conversation, a little extra content, and then found all types of the other podcasts, through you, which I thank you for. Because like I said, Christmas Past, the Hallmark one, there's so many of them now.
Yeah, there's a lot.
That the Christmas genre as a podcast has actually exploded.
It really has, and it's really wild because like when I first started, there were like 5 or even by the time I started, there were a few more. But when I first started listening, there was like literally 5 or 6. And one of them hadn't posted in years. So I still available, but hadn't updated in years. And a couple years ago, Brian Earl started making a catalog of Christmas podcasts. I think he got up to 200 and something, and a lot of them focus on there's a lot that focus on like movies, Hallmark specifically. The thing I like about Christmas Clatter is you just never really know what I'm going to have, because I'll talk movies and music, food, ornaments, decorations, even have some episodes about how to deal with that, depression that comes at Christmas time, because that's important to address too, because it is part of Christmas, unfortunately, and just make sure that everybody's okay, around the holidays. And that's always, real important. And then I always have a pastor friend of mine or something do just a small sermon on Christmas Eve, nothing over the top or crazy, but just, give some people some hope around the holidays. And it's always well received. And I always liken it to the, like the classic variety shows that used to come on TV.
Yeah.
Where they're a little comedy, a little serious, a little singing, dancing, that kind of thing, So
No, you like the old Dean Martin.
yeah, the old Dean Martin. That's exactly who I was thinking of.
Yep.
That's that. So
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. But yeah, it's
I'm
like
not
I said,
as
I've
cool as Dean
enjoyed
Martin,
it.
but
Then you had actually the newest episode, thank you, because I've been binging that, the Total Christmas podcast,
yeah,
which
Jack.
with Jack.
Yeah,
And
at Ford.
Jack's from England or the
Uh-huh.
UK, however you want to, which gives a little bit different perspective.
Yeah,
Tradition wise,
Uh-huh.
and Christmas music, things like that. So that was nice.
yeah. Jack's hilarious too.
Oh, I was rolling.
He's
I was
sneaky funny.
yeah. You're sitting there going, did he really just say what I thought he said?
Yeah,
And he says it in the quote unquote, the British slang.
yeah.
So it comes across
Uh-huh.
on a different level than the actual
Yeah.
meaning.
Uh-huh.
So that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But you had said before, you're kind of a self-proclaimed Christmas freak,
Uh-huh.
which I agree with, and I absolutely love the one, because obviously you got a Christmas podcast, so your studio,
Mm-hmm.
which is great, and you just did it over last year,
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
I
Built this up in my basement. So
yeah, so in the above your shoulder, you got the albums and
Uh-huh.
the tree and everything, and it's beautiful.
Uh-huh.
And I just forgot where I'm going with this. Aha, I got it. It's back. Christmas trees.
Uh-huh.
Obviously, you have a Christmas tree behind you.
Right.
And I'm saying this a little tongue in cheek because I somewhat know the answer ballpark wise, but I'm assuming you have, another Christmas tree, up in your living room, correct? So,
Yes.
a 2-tree household.
13 tree household.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we have a tree in every room, and a couple of the rooms have a couple of trees in them. So,
Yeah.
mhm.
How did that come about? The
Um,
13, because I know you had mentioned before, and I'm kind of sorry, I'm kind of stepping on, because I do like with the podcast where, let me pause for a moment, you get to know the person, and especially with yours, it's all on the Christmas, but you really let everybody into the personal side of you.
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of this had come from your mother,
Yeah.
because I think she has even more trees than you.
Yeah. She has 25 trees up is what she puts up. And so it just kind of started. Of course, I love Christmas and Christmas decorations. So you get to the point where you get so many ornaments that one tree is not enough.
Mm-hmm.
And so we start, just like put one in the master bedroom. And then, of course, the kids want one in their rooms. And like I said, we have 4 kids. So that's 4 rooms there. So 5 rooms total. And then we have a dining room. So it's like, well, we got plenty of room in there. And then put a small one in the kitchen, and then, entryway. So we started there and put, I built a like a hall table to put my nutcrackers on. So we made that a nutcracker tree. Well, then I ended up so many nutcracker ornaments that I had to put another little tree there next to that. And like I said, we got 4 kids, so we get a lot of when the kids make a handmade ornament,
Mm-hmm.
they explode like crazy. So then we put another tree in the living room just for those. And then it's like, so it's kind of just that progression. They're all themed except for the main tree in the living room. I always call that like the scrapbook tree because it's kind of got the most special stuff on it.
Yeah.
And but it's like the dining room's done in like a retro 50s, kind of like that atomic style,
Okay.
and then the one in the kitchen is, it's all baking and cooking themed. We have woodland creatures in our bedroom. The kids are my boy's a big Kansas City Chiefs fan, so he's got a lot of Chiefs stuff on his, and my youngest girl, she just all got, stuffed animal kind of things on there, and my boy's in the cars, and like real cars, not the movie so much anymore. He's older, but so he's got a bunch of Hallmark's really great about making ornaments that are, like, replicas of cars that of past years, and he loves all those. So he's got all kinds of, like 68 Camaros in the car from Fast and the Furious and old pickup trucks and stuff on there and things. And so, yeah, just it's a slow progress. And plus two, my blow molds are building up. So it's like we're having to find places for those and things. So it's just, anytime I go like antique shopping or anything, I see something that's unique. It's like, I'll grab it, but it's like, where are we going to put it? I'm like, I don't know. We'll figure that out.
Figure it out later.
Yeah.
Oh, that's perfect. But yeah, it's a lot of themed trees.
Yeah, that makes it easier too.
Yeah,
when they're themed. So
because that's what we kind of have right now. I have 2 trees myself. They're both upstairs because I have a the house is a raised ranch, so it's really open.
Yep.
So the living room and the kitchen are connected. So I have one tree in the living room, then in the back corner of the kitchen, I have another tree. And like I said, the one in the living room is I don't want to call it the sentimental ones, but they will definitely have the more meaning because they're all sentimental in their own way.
Right.
But I got a lot of my mother's ornaments before she had passed. So I have those. And I don't know if you've probably seen them. I can't even remember when they came out. I just remember them forever. They're the porcelain Santas, the Santas around the world.
Oh, yes.
So they'd have, Austria, 1856, Mexico, 1709, things like that. So we have all those. And then, being a Harley rider, Harley Davidson comes out with a bulb each year. So we started collecting those back in, I believe, 2006.
Yeah.
So we have the tree in the kitchen has all those along with like the ones that the kids make and and it goes over. But I do see a third tree coming in the future.
Yeah.
Because Mrs. Maggs, my wife, and I have been perusing the Balsam Hill website.
Yes.
Which is very dangerous.
Yes.
So she's got a couple ideas going on. So I see a tree coming down here at some point.
Yeah. If you can wait till June, July, or August, pull the trigger. If you wait till Labor Day, you waited too long.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that's the beautiful thing about being a mailman. We kind of get the inside scoop because all the ads started coming.
Yeah.
Especially this year with Balsam Hill. I think this was the first year I remember seeing a postcard flyer. The catalogs come in, but in all those it was 40%, 50 Christmas in July, 60%. And on some of those items, you need that 60%.
Oh yeah, you do. We had a Balsam Hill a couple years back for our main tree, and it's well worth it. I mean, we caught it on a good sale, but it was well worth it for sure. So,
have you ever thought of trying to track down one of the aluminum trees?
I've been tracking one down for years. I just can't pull the trigger on the prices yet because they are. I mean, they're expensive. Retro's in, and so I'm just waiting to snag that good deal where someone really doesn't know what they have. Not that I want to take advantage of anybody. I'll pay them a fair price, but some people are just nuts. But I'm always there's another listener of mine, David. We're always messaging back and forth because he's looking for one too, and so if he finds one that's like closer to my area, he'll send it to me. But they're usually so crazy expensive, that. But one of these days I will have one. You know,
Yeah, it's wild, but that's really what the Christmas is.
yeah,
It's the Christmas past, it's Christmas present, and it's Christmas future.
yeah,
It's all wrapped into one. So, those old things, and then you see the new things, and
hmm
it just goes fantastic.
yeah,
So the Christmas Clatter podcast has been going on 5 years now.
yeah.
I know I have had the feeling of when I did mine. Did you ever think when you started it, you'd still be doing it 5 years down the line?
Absolutely not. You know, because I'm always one of those. I'm one of those people. I have lots of different interests, and I can kind of, I'll go like eyeball deep into something and run with it, and then I kind of lose interest in something else excites me. But this is one thing that's always just you know been real steady. Like I alluded to earlier, the scheduling has changed on Christmas Clatter because I used to do it all year round.
Mhm.
And I found that wasn't really the best for me to do it because of trying to find something Christmas to talk about in February, March, April. Kind of tough. And so I was kind of forcing I felt like I was forcing the issue. So I take, now I'm June or July through December, half the year doing it. And that works great for me. It gives me a chance to kind of stretch my legs on because I like to do woodworking a
Mhm.
lot. And kind of lets me do that in the spring and summer while the weather's nice here in Missouri, um, and then focus back on Christmas that back end of the year. And so, but I'm just like when I first started, I had a laptop that we had bought the kids years ago. Then for Christmas, this old like little, and it was like $200, and then a little crappy laptop, and
Mhm.
I had a little crappy mic, and just trying to learn about editing and all this. I think my first episode was like 13 minutes or something
Oh, yeah.
ridiculous like that. And I was like, I'll never forget that first like day or week I had it out. I had like 24 listens, and I was like, wow, look at 24 people like listen to it and stuff. And then it started growing from there. And I'm like, I can't believe that people care what this mailman in his basement has to say about Christmas. you know
100%.
Yeah.
And then the wild one is when you get that first message
Uh-huh.
from somebody that's not in the United States.
Yes. Yeah.
That blows your mind,
Yeah.
because that happened to me, right, literally. I think it was either episode 1 or 2, literally. And I got a message from my boy Oli Sprague, out of Australia.
Oh, wow.
And I went, "What the hell just happened?" Because you can't register it right off the bat that
Yeah.
someone in Australia, halfway around the world, is listening to what I'm rambling on about.
Yeah. Yep.
And, and then they just came in, Ireland,
Uh-huh.
UK, it's like, holy cow.
Yeah.
But, then you think about it and it's like, okay, you're bringing joy to people everywhere.
Uh-huh.
I get a lot of messages, because I'll see something come in from, call it India.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, wait a damn minute. Huh? I think we actually, depending on what religion of in of the few in India, we in the barbecue world actually cook one of the gods. It's what is this? And then you find out it's a service member,
Yeah.
when they're
Mm.
stationed over there. And hey, thank you so much for bringing a little
Yeah.
feeling of home over here while we're doing our thing.
Mhm.
And in those ones, They
Yeah,
get you right there,
they do.
you know?
Yeah, that's why my last episode with Jack over in the UK, that's why I had it at an odd time here in the States. It was like 2 p.m. Central Time. But it's because I have so many people in Ireland and the UK and even in Germany that listen that I wanted to be on YouTube live when it was available for them, because normally it's like 2 or 3 in the morning,
Yeah.
for them. So I wanted to, at least do that so they had a chance to be there. But I'll never forget, after my first Christmas of doing Christmas Clatter in 2019, I got a message from a guy in California that I didn't know at all, complete stranger, just thanking me for the podcast and how it was like his first Christmas without his mom. And he's like, "Your podcast really helped." I'm like thinking, what did I do?
Yeah.
And I didn't even have that many episodes that month or anything. And but he just told me how much it helped listening to what I had, and it really helped get him through that Christmas without his mom, that first one. And I was completely floored, and it took me a day or so to get a letter back, because I didn't want to just blow him off or anything, and make sure I process it all. But I still think about it almost every time I sit down to do it, because you just never know what people, even with the barbecue world, you just never know when people need that escapism. I remember, to get real personal with you, I remember in 2010 I was going through a divorce, and it's before podcast, but I was listening to a lot of like sports radio and stuff, and SVP and Russillo were on, and I don't know if anybody is familiar with that, but Scott Van Pelt used to do this bit where he'd talk like in this accent from someone from Baltimore to anytime Tim Kirchin was on talking baseball, and crack him up. And I remember I was delivering mail, and I was going through all that crap with that divorce, and he started that bit, and I started laughing. I was like hands on knees in someone's yard laughing, doubled over. And to be honest with you, I started crying, because that was like the first time I laughed like that in a long time.
Yeah.
Because it, going through the divorce, and of course that means things were crappy for a long time before that, but it was just that little bit was just enough to kind of completely unrelated to anything I was going through, but it was just enough to get me to laugh, to cheer me up, to kind of give me a little hope to move forward. So but
Oh, absolutely. It's that little bit that gives you that, hey, it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
Get yourself, because then you take that, process that, and okay, let's get back on track.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great story. But I found myself listening to things, and that's it. I'm laughing hysterically in the truck, and I'm pulling out, and the homeowner's coming out, and they're like, "Johnny, do I even want to know?" I go, "Not on this one."
Thank the Lord for earbuds sometimes.
Oh, God, yeah. But oh man. All right. Little traditions are always part of Christmas.
Yes.
And you have a tradition coming up, and if I'm not mistaken, it is December 8th.
Yes, correct.
Of the becoming actually world famous Cookie Day.
Cookie Day.
Tell us about Cookie Day.
Well, let me take you back to the first Cookie Day. It was my 1995. I just got back home from after my first semester of college, and my mom was baking Christmas cookies, and so I was sitting in the kitchen eating them as they were coming out, and eating on the dough before they were going in, as a good son would do. And my sister was there, and we were just talking and chatting, and my sister calls down to my mom's church, and our youth pastor Dave, who was a good friend of mine, answered, and she's like, "Hey Dave, mom's making cookies. Do you want some?" He's like, "Your mom's making cookies. I'll be right there." So he comes up, and we spent the afternoon just laughing and talking and eating cookies and all this. We're like, this is so much fun. We have to do it, next year. So we did. We planned it, and a few more people showed up. fast forward all the way to now, my mom, like I said, she puts up 25 trees. She decorates the house like Hallmark movie, and we make cookies, and we just have an open house and invite whoever wants to come, whoever can make it. You know, you come in and grab some cookies, visit, slow down a little bit, take some time to, chat, meet somebody new, walk around, look at the Christmas decorations, grab a cup of coffee or milk or a cider, and just enjoy. And, this year we're going to have 28 different kinds of cookies, probably about 5,500 individual cookies. And it's going to be a blast. You usually have about 200 or 250 people come through. The only thing we ask is you sign the guest book when you come in, just so we can keep track of how many people come through. We even did a cookie hall of fame where we had people vote on cookies, and in the top, I think 6 made it into the cookie hall of fame, which only means that they just get put on a different counter and marked as hall of fame cookies. But it was something fun to do. And there's people that, I only see on cookie day, and then so we catch up.
Yeah.
Or there's people that only met at cookie day and became friends. And then there's times that, a friend of mine's, I'm talking to somebody and they go off and look at something else. And a friend of mine's like, "Who was that?" And I'm like, "I have no idea who that was."
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and we'll be doing it again this year. I'm not sure how many more cookie days my mom has left in her, but hopefully many, many more. And because I just don't know if it's something that me and my sister will be able to keep up without her or not.
Now, when does preparation start? Because you just said, 28 different kinds of cookies,
Right.
but you were saying over 5,000 total cookies.
Right.
How long does it take to make 5,000 cookies?
Well, most of the cookie dough is freezable. So in August, my mom will make up the cookie dough and freeze it.
Okay.
And then the ones that are not freezable, she'll make the week of, and she'll make all of them the week of. With cookies, the great thing is if you find a Tupperware and you can stack the cookies in there and put a piece of wax paper on there and a piece of cheap white bread, it keeps them fresh forever. And so she can make them the week before, and everybody, I think they just, were made that day or the day, day before. And so we'll do that. And we used to do it the week right after Thanksgiving. That got to be pushing it a little bit. So we decided to leave that week open and move it back, so.
And and like you said, the people coming in, and people look forward to it.
Yeah.
It's people you literally see once a year.
Yeah.
And last year at Cookie Day, a mutual friend of ours made the trip to Cookie Day from Tennessee. Our friend Ken Smith, from the North Pole News Dispatch podcast, and also Faces to Places.
Yes.
How did he like it?
Oh, he was blown away. I had asked him, kind of tell me what he was expecting, before he went, and then got his reaction afterwards. And he's like, it just blew me away, and stuff. In fact, he's coming back this year again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I've already talked to him. He's going to come back again this year, but he's like, it was just so much fun. He's just like, everybody, just talking with, of course, he likes to visit. He's like us. He likes to talk and visit. So, so what better way to do it than a cup of coffee and a cookie in your hand, and, standing around a Christmas tree or 2 or 25 and enjoy it. And it's a lot of fun, and it's different crowds come through. You kind of have a morning crowd, and it kind of breaks for lunch, and then afternoon crowd. Then once school lets out, it can be a little bit crazy in there, because my kids and my nieces like to invite their friends, and kids love cookies. But it's always a good time. It's something that everybody, they're always asking, when's Cookie Day, and I can't say I blame them. We also make deliveries. There's certain friends that have to work, and I'll take some to the big old thing of them to the post office, you know, for my coworkers there, and then some people work at a pharmacy. We have a local Christmas store called the Yule Log Cabin. We'll run some out to Joni and their crew and stuff. So just to, you know, we'll run some down to the police station, and then there's usually a lot of leftover cookies. My mom's just a good old Southern cook, so when she cooks, you know, for one, she's cooking for an army,
Yep.
and there's a local the word just slipped my mind. Oh man, word slipped my mind. It's a local gosh,
It'll
dang
come.
it.
It'll come. It'll
Yeah,
come.
it's a local rehab, you know, for men that are you know, getting off drugs and alcohol. So they usually have like 125 men there, and so after cookie day and stuff, all the leftovers we tote up and take up there, and from what we hear, it's like piranhas. They're kind of all gone because those guys, you know, they're away from home and stuff. So to
Yeah.
get some of that homemade Christmas goodness is a real treat. So
Nice.
yeah, so
Nice.
I
Oh,
struggle with rehab there for some reason.
hey, it happens. You know,
Oh yeah,
it's right here, then it's
uh-huh.
gone. Then eventually it comes back and you got it. Heck, it happened to me earlier
Yeah,
with the Christmas trees. But yeah, actually I talked to Ken the other night, and we're gonna be doing an episode next Sunday.
Oh, nice.
To talking, you know, he was talking about actually coming up this way during the summer.
Uh-huh.
And you do some cooking, and we'll do a couple different
Yep.
podcasts with him. And I'm like, oh, Ken, I got a restaurant up here that'll fit the Faces to Places podcast too. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's all excited. So
Ken's a legit cook. He's a legit.
Yeah, we are. I met Ken through a friend of mine, Steve Ray, from the Owl's Nest Barbecue, and Ken was in the chat. So, you know, that's how it happened. Just hanging out during one of the shows in the chat, and that, you know, got to meet so many people that way.
Absolutely.
So it'll be good to catch up with Ken. All right, Christmas music.
All right.
Because you've done something this year, and if in the past years you've kind of had a ranking system going on, but you've taken it to a new level now.
Yes.
That it's available to everybody. Tell us about the Spotify Christmas song list.
All right. Yeah, the essential Christmas list, or Christmas music list, the essential Christmas playlist, I think is what it's called officially. The essential Christmas playlist. Yeah, I've done shows where I've ranked the Christmas songs based on like popularity, you know, based on what I think, you know, based on whatever's. And then that led to, well, what would be the Christmas songs that I would say would be essential for Christmas? And that started last year. So all this year when I was, you know, not doing episodes, I was like thinking about this, and it's like I had to define what essential was. But there was different ways to do it. It could be one of those things that you just have to have, you know, for Christmas. Well, that's really can be, even though Christmas traditions are generally the same, for individuals and individual families, there's songs that I just got to hear that song, you know, to be Christmas. Well, then it's like, well, then what if an alien came down from Earth, had no idea what Christmas was? What songs would you give them to describe what Christmas was? And then, so I decided just to kind of go with both, you know, on those. So in trying to explain it, I just said, you know, and I contacted a bunch of Christmas podcasters and music fans and people that are professional musicians to get their opinions too. And it's just not all mine. And so to sum it up, it's just, these are the Christmas songs I deemed essential. And now I had another problem. Well, which versions do I use? Because there's lots of versions of all the Christmas songs, some way more iconic than others, but some equally as iconic as others. And the example I always like to go to is White Christmas. You have Bing Crosby, White Christmas, definitely essential. You have to have it. But
Mm-hmm.
the Drifters also have a version that's different, but also equally as essential. You know, so what I did is when a song was deemed essential, there could only be 2 artists with a version of that song. And that way I don't have a lot of, just, I don't have 27 different White Christmas,
Yeah.
because I wanted it to be, and if you listen to the playlist, it's definitely one to shuffle because songs will be the same back to back because of the way I listed them. And so I went through and I think I ended up, and then I was going to try to do like 101 essential, and then that just wasn't going to work. So I ended up with 120, if you count each artist renditions as a single song, 120 songs. And I should have had all the stats pulled up, but there, Bing Crosby was the most on there, artist on there the most with 9 times. Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Dean Martin, they were on, there multiple times. There's lots of people that are on there twice, and then a bunch of single, people that are on there just once. But and then I just put them in. I copied and pasted them into a random nameter on the internet, and just spun the wheel, and whatever name put up is that was the order I listed them in. That way, it's not a ranking. It's not the best. It's not this. It's a list.
Yep. Yeah.
So, and it was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun. And also we talked about over in the UK and stuff. I was real cognizant of songs that they love and that are essential to them. That maybe here in the States we know them, but we kind of overlook them. Because it's a big part of their Christmas as well.
Yeah.
And in same, down under in Australia, New Zealand, that kind of thing, because, I want them to, have some, I wanted the list, and I think it really worked out. I wanted the list to be where it's like, oh, there's a lot of stuff that's familiar and makes me feel like Christmas, but there's a handful or so of songs that may be a little bit newer to the listener. And I think I was able to throw it on there, and actually do it, because there was a couple songs from people that have been on my podcast that aren't real big known names in the music industry that have wonderful Christmas songs that really capture the spirit. And so I just threw them on there too. And not because they're friends of mine or anything, but because I really thought that they were worthy of it. There's a song Jingle Jangle by Ray Stevens that gets licensed in like all kinds of Christmas movies. So he's probably heard it and just never realized it's in the background. It's been in like Noel, on Disney Plus, and War with Santa, or not War with Santa, War with Grandpa, and Black Christmas, and it's been in all kinds of stuff, and it's like, so it's probably one of those that you've probably heard, never really realized you heard it because it's on the background of movies and stuff. But that's one that's on there as well.
Yeah. And of course, over your shoulder on the albums, you got the iconic Vince Guaraldi trio, better known as the Charlie Brown soundtrack.
Yep. He's got some appearances on there. Also behind me is Home Alone, and that was another fight I had. It's like, do I put any movie soundtrack stuff on there? Because there's a lot of great instrumental stuff from like Home Alone and things that could be on there, or The Nightmare Before Christmas has some songs that people really love. I decided to leave just movie specific stuff off. I know Charlie Brown is a TV special, but but it kind of stands on its own. You'll hear it on Christmas radio. You don't necessarily hear John Williams on on Christmas radio. So
now, like with you saying Christmas radio now with obviously Spotify, but the Sirius XM, they go haywire now. In the truck, I can get 4 different stations. There's a Hallmark, there's a Holly, there's a Joy, then
Uh-huh.
the Christmas Traditions,
Mhm.
which the Christmas Traditions channel is actually available all year long.
Mhm.
The rest of them came out, I want to say November 8th was when they actually kicked off. But they have, a country Christmas, Motown Christmas, Latin. They have a rock and roll Christmas one, which can get interesting.
Yeah.
Like the band Cheap Trick.
Yep.
Their iconic "I Want You to Want Me" song.
Mhm.
They changed that up to "I Want You for Christmas."
Uh-huh.
It's the exact same song, note for note. They just changed the words, which was awesome. But the one that really blew me away was Rob Halford,
Uh-huh.
lead singer of Judas Priest,
Yep.
came out with a Christmas album, I want to say 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Some of the songs he because he's the uh referred to as the metal god,
Uh-huh.
but his voice, the ranges he can hit,
Yeah. He's incredible.
he can do numerous Christmas ones, and he does. Like
Yeah.
he does a version of "Oh Holy Night" that it's out of this world. So folks, go try to find it. It
Mhm.
will blow you away.
Yeah. Don't
You
don't
know,
sleep on the Twisted Sister Christmas album either.
yes,
That is an
Twisted
excellent album.
Sister.
Their Deck the Halls is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they have a lot of the traditional
Mhm.
ones. The Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney, John Lennon.
Yeah.
They have all those. Bruce Springsteen. That the ones you've heard for years. But they'll throw a couple in there that that there's a little spoof one from Blink 182.
Uh-huh.
And oh, here we go. Here's my second moment of the day. The she's married to Blake Shelton.
Oh,
Now.
Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani. They had some when she started with No Doubt.
Uh-huh.
That they were kind of like almost punk rockish.
Yeah.
Heck, the Ramones
Mhm.
have what is it? I don't want to Christmas. I don't want to fight tonight.
Yeah.
Things like that. But obviously, you're gonna have a certain answer for this one. But when is the appropriate time for Christmas music to start playing?
Whenever you feel like it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, it just whenever you need to listen to it, listen to it.
Yeah.
I used to years ago, I used to wait till like July, but now I save all what I call like the heavy hitters, all the Bings and the Franks and Deans and Nats and all that. I save those for around the holidays because I don't want to get tired of them.
Yeah.
But there's, like you were alluding to, there's so much Christmas music out there that if you need a little bit in February or March, you can find it. And that's when I'll listen, to a lot of the stuff that doesn't get played a whole lot, like the rock stuff or even hip hop stuff. I'm not a big hip hop fan, but I always like keeping on top of what's there, and or some of the deep country stuff or the independent artists, that kind of thing. But I don't want to talk pandemic, but 2020 and April, Hallmark went back to Christmas movies and radio stations went back to playing Christmas music because there's some kind of peace or hope or familiarity or relaxation that comes with it. So if you find yourself needing a little bit of it, you need a little Christmas now. Don't hesitate.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We've been here at the house. I've been rolling a lot of the I've been a parrot head since birth.
Oh yeah.
But Jimmy Buffett's, he has 2 Christmas albums, and his version of Mele Kalikimaka
Yep.
is one of the best I've ever heard.
It is.
So, it's just so much fun with them. But that leads to the Christmas specials and Christmas movies.
Oh yeah.
So let's stir the pot here
Okay.
eventually.
That chili pot.
Exactly. You know, obviously you have all the Christmas specials, the Charlie Browns, the
Uh-huh.
holidays, the variety shows we alluded to earlier, the Dean Martin,
Mhm.
Christmas specials and the Bob Hope Christmas specials
Mhm.
and things like that. But we have I like to call them the timeless, the Rankin Bass.
Yes.
So you know, the Year Without a Santa Claus is
Uh-huh.
coming to town, Little Drummer Boy,
Mhm.
all of those are timeless. What's your favorite of the TV Christmas specials?
Oh, I definitely Charlie Brown. I'm a big Peanuts fan anyway.
Mhm.
Definitely Charlie Brown. Um, Rudolph uh, holds a special place. But one that I kind of remember the most as a kid was Frosty the Snowman. That was one that I really look forward to, and that's kind of one that is the most nostalgic for me. Other than that's the one I remember most when I was younger. But they all kind of hit home, you know, that nostalgic factor. But since I gotten a little older, one that I really just love and came out in '77 is Emmett Otter Jug Band Christmas. I love Emmett Otter, and
That's my favorite of all time.
yeah,
Yep.
it's probably mine too now. But I didn't discover it till I was older because I didn't grow up with cable TV because my dad
Mhm.
worked for a CBS affiliate, so he's like, we're not getting cable. That's the competition, So and then another one I discovered that I I watch a lot is from Newhart. Uh,
Yeah.
they had a Christmas episode in like '83 or something that is just fantastic. Oh, so funny, so hilarious, and I love that show Newhart, and love Bob Newhart anyway. But those are ones from the TV side that I just got to see all the time.
Yeah.
Especially around the holidays, take a little bit of time to watch them. So,
Yeah. But it's funny, you said Emmett Otter,
uh,
and there is in that special, there is the barbecue connection
yeah,
with the barbecue song.
yep,
So,
definitely
but
so.
like I said, I would watch those, and I still watch them today. And
Yeah.
I've gone out and bought and rebought
Hmm.
the DVDs and things because they get beat up over the years, and
Yep.
the kids started watching them, so
Mhm.
they're laying on the floor,
Mhm.
they get scratched, but they love them. And of course, I had to uh, break it out. The Snow
Oh,
Miser,
yeah. Love it.
needed that, and I got his brother, the Heat Miser, upstairs. But yeah, it's just those special things that you pass down from the stuff that we would watch as kids, and now our kids are watching
Mhm.
them, and they're mainstays around the Christmas season that you need these,
Yep.
and you can have the Trish. Like I pulled in last night, and I just hear laughter out in my driveway. I'm hearing the howls coming from inside of the house. And I come up, and my wife and the two kids, that they're watching Home Alone too, and it was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's perfect, perfect, perfect. Um, what other Christmas movies? Okay, the Christmas Carol.
Uh-huh.
So many versions have been put out there.
Mhm.
I have my favorite. What what about you? What's your favorite version of the Christmas Carol? And I'm gonna preface it by, you cannot say the Muppets version, because the Muppets version again is timeless,
far superior than all the others.
it really is, because if you think about it, it's a dark story.
Yeah.
It leads to a quote unquote happy ending,
Mhm.
but the whole story is very dark. Having the Muppets do it adds that light thing the whole time.
Yeah.
But so I guess the regular theatrical versions, which would be your favorite?
Yeah. Oh, it's probably a toss up between, I can't remember the year, the black and white one with Alistair Black as Scrooge, or the one with George C. Scott, which I think is actually technically a TV movie, but
Yeah.
it's still a movie. It'd be a toss up between those two, and I probably would lean towards George C. Scott just because I just remember it coming on when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it kind of, when I was littler, it scared me, in some parts.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of nostalgia pull on that one. If I couldn't pick the Muppets, but
Yeah.
but yeah, those two by far. And beyond those, it kind of the Christmas Carol movies kind of go downhill pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, but no, I agree. The George C. Scott one is
Yeah.
my favorite. And I actually finally got it last
Yeah.
year. And we watched it. I had was able to find it on before we moved up here. I guess when we were in the big cities, they it was easy to find with cable,
Yeah.
the search. And
Yeah.
so we had watched it a couple times with the kids. But now, since we're up here in the woods in the lakes region, there's only a few cable providers, and looking at social media, they ain't that great.
Right.
But everything you find now is streaming anyway.
Yeah.
It has completely changed. So
Yeah.
to find all that stuff.
Yeah. I also like the George C. Scott one because it reminds me of my dad, because every year it would come on, my dad would go, "Is that Johnny Cash?" Every year.
Actually, something, now that you say it. Wow. Yeah.
So every time I see it, I think, "Is that Johnny Cash?"
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Every year was uphill. I think he just would say it just
to say it at that point. All right. Here comes the controversy.
Already.
Beans in chili in the barbecue world.
Yes. I need to know a little bit more about this.
Okay.
I make really good chili. I once won a chili competition.
Okay.
So I need to know, is it beans or no beans? I have my opinion.
If you ask me, my opinion, beans in chili.
Thank you.
You go to Texas, it's sacrilege. No beans. What I've come out of so many discussions, what it really comes down to is like most things. A, it's regional.
Mhm.
B, it's what you grew up with. So it's what mom or dad made.
Yeah.
So my mother made chili with beans. So my opinion is beans are in chili.
Yes.
But oh man, the conversations that have happened, the discussions, it is sickening. We will spend 3-4 hours discussing this.
Uh-huh.
A good friend of mine, Johnny Stewart, Chef Johnny, he has a YouTube channel, Texas Style Barbecue and Cuisine. He'll text me out of the blue, no beans in chili, just to make me laugh.
Yeah.
So it comes down to the question: Die Hard.
Yes.
Why is it a Christmas movie? And it was funny because it sparked me the other night. One of my old producers popped up when I was talking about the December episodes are coming. They won't be live; they'll be recorded. And all of a sudden, he popped up. He goes, when is the Die Hard a Christmas movie episode coming?
Mhm.
I go, it's on its way, Ben. I go, relax. But a Christmas movie,
Okay.
I can see how it is.
Yes.
I can see both sides of it,
Okay.
because obviously with your show and a bunch of the others, it is a topic.
Hmm.
It's based on the Christmas party or Christmas Eve, but it's the action film. But it's based just because of it is a Christmas party on Christmas Eve that makes it a Christmas movie.
Um, it's more than that because the
Okay.
whole soundtrack is Christmas as well. It's not like Lethal
Okay.
Weapon. It's not like, the first Lethal Weapon takes place at Christmas time. And full disclosure, my criteria for a Christmas movie is real vague. It just means it has to have some Christmas in it. That's a story for another day. But Die Hard, the whole soundtrack is Christmas based. All the instrumental musicals is all Christmas based.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, and let me describe this plot to you, okay? Our main character is separated by himself from his family, and thieves are trying to rob the building that he's in. So he sets a bunch of traps for them, gets under their skin, only to be saved by a person that he befriended that lives outside the building. Did I just describe Die Hard or did I just describe Home Alone?
Todd, you're going to laugh. I literally just jotted a note down to bring up as a point
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
Uh-huh.
So Die Hard was the basis of Home Alone.
Well, I don't know about
Christmas. We're kind of in that 6 degrees of Kevin
Yeah.
Bacon thing right now.
Very, very close. It's and if you dive real deep, because I always ask people, what do you think Home Alone's a Christmas movie? And they're like, yes, of course. They're the same movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it's John McClane. It's John McClane and Kevin McAllister. They both want their families back. Kevin's like, I just want my family back. And John's like wanting to reunite with his wife, Holly. Her name's Holly, for goodness sakes. You have thieves trying to rob. You have John getting on their nerves and doing things. Kevin does the same thing. You have Joe Pesci out there giving it the old Yosemite Sam treatment, with traps and all this stuff. And then, at the end, the neighbor whacks the wet bandits on the back of the head with the shovel to save Kevin. Well, then Al, Mr. Winslow, most people know him as Mr. Winslow, shoots the lone bad guy that raises up to that's going to shoot John in the back, so
yeah,
it's all
wow.
Yeah. I think I had them listed somewhere. I couldn't find it. I tried to find it real quick. I ended up with like 27 similarities between the movies as far as plot points and things. And
I never put those together.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I always tell people, if you think Home Alone is a Christmas movie, then you got to think Die Hard is. It's intellectually dishonest. And then a lot of people are like, well, it's an action movie. It's like, well, it can be an action movie and a Christmas movie. It doesn't have to be one or the other, because Christmas movies can be, comedies or dramas or, it's just, but yeah, it's definitely a Christmas movie.
Wow. Wow. Todd, yeah. Okay. You have officially on 11:41 a.m. on November 26th, you have officially changed my mind on Die Hard being a Christmas movie. People are going to go out of their minds. If you go back into the previous 4 Christmas episodes or Christmas seasons of this show, the Pit Life Barbecue podcast, I am adamant Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. So here it is. You're hearing it first. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I never put that combination together of the baseline storyline is the same
Yeah.
of Home Alone. All right. You changed you taught the old dog a new trick. Wow. Because my whole argument was if Die Hard was a Christmas movie,
Mm-hmm.
so would be The Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
Because part of that happens. Michael and Kay are walking out of um I want to say the Rockettes
Yeah.
when he sees the headline
Yeah.
of, and Tom Hagen is carrying the Christmas presents and the sleigh when he gets picked up. So technically, by those standards, The Godfather itself is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I can't believe this twist, this turn, you have converted me, Todd.
Well, that's
wow.
Good. Yeah. See, my ranking of Christmas movies, like I said, it's if it has any Christmas in it, like The Godfather, I deem it a Christmas movie. That way I don't split hairs.
Yeah.
Now, I admit there's some silliness that gets in there because of that. Like 2018, the Halloween movie, the kind of
the
remake.
Nightmare,
the
Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, Halloween in 2018. It was kind of like the redoing of Halloween 2, where Laurie Strode's older and Michael comes out. Well, her daughter in the movie wears a Christmas sweater the whole time, so I deemed it a Christmas movie because of that. Like I said, I get silliness because of my rule, but I get tired of splitting hairs sometimes. They're like, well, it takes place at Christmas, but it's not a Christmas movie. It's like, But Die Hard definitely for me is full blown absolute Christmas movie. For one, the story of getting the family back, and the soundtrack is all Christmas. Takes place on Christmas Eve. Has a lot of Christmas themes in it. Yes, it is an action movie, but I think that's what gets people is the action part overshadows the Christmas part a little bit. But you never really forget it's Christmas. Like Lethal Weapon, it's written by Shane Black, who puts a lot of his movies at Christmas time. There's parts of Lethal Weapon that you absolutely forget it's Christmas, because it's just not as pronounced as it is in Die Hard, But yeah, it's definitely a Christmas movie, and I've past couple years I've taken to that Home Alone argument, and it seems to be pretty effective with people because nobody says Home Alone. No one says Home Alone is not a Christmas movie, know. So.
Yeah. Well, you officially changed me, so feel free to gloat about that one because, like I said, it is on audio, video for Christmas seasons. Before each one, Die Hard is not a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Today, you changed my mind because I cannot argue that. I never thought of the plot line to Home Alone. So, but yes, Home Alone is a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But now, okay, you have officially changed my mind. I wish this was live because I would have loved to see the chat right now of the smart ass comments. Oh wow. Oh brother.
If you got any comments for Johnny, please tag me in them as well.
But Todd, man, I appreciate you taking the time to do this on a Sunday morning, man. This was awesome.
Anytime.
I
need to get you on so we can. I think we need to make barbecue a part of Christmas.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, if someone brought some ribs over for Christmas, I wouldn't be mad.
Oh, you get a nice cranberry glaze.
Yeah.
Things,
and I need to tell you about my cherry pie baked beans.
Oh, do tell.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a video out there of a guy making apple pie baked beans.
Oh yeah.
Yep, and I liked them, but I thought cherries would be better. So I took that recipe that he has on that short, and what I did was I just substituted the cherry pie filling for the apple, and then I used chili powder and cinnamon to taste,
Hmm.
and then I split. I think he used 2 pounds of sausage, breakfast sausage. I do 1 pound and then a pound of bacon, and
Oh,
and then cook it, and it is magnificent. Yeah,
cherry pie. I'm
baked
writing
bean.
this down.
Yeah,
Cherry pie baked beans.
yeah, they are so good. The cherries, to me, blend better with the beans than the apple. The apple pie baked beans are really good. Don't get me wrong; they are really good.
Yeah.
But the cherries, to me, they just blend better.
Oh, yeah. I will be trying that out.
Yeah.
You better believe it.
Mhm.
But no, it does. It does coincide because, especially now the holidays, we had smoked turkeys the other
Mhm.
day, and we're getting into a thing of the I call it the smoker fried turkey. You
Yep.
smoke it to about 120, then finish it off in the deep fryer. Get the best of both worlds. But come Christmas time, you got your, the the prime ribs, the beef tenderloins, the racks of lamb,
Yep.
all on smokers and grills.
Yep.
Just saying. We can combine genres here. I
Yep.
love we're making we're knocking doors down, brother.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Oh,
Absolutely. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I'm not
that
too much of a cook, but I do enjoy eating. So
oh, me too, me too. But Todd, man, like I said, thank you so much. This has been an absolute blast. So much, and you changed me. You Scrooged me. You Scrooged me. Wow, I
uh,
love it. I love it.
that's
But
fantastic.
where can everybody find you, social media wise?
I'm
YouTube, all that good stuff.
Yeah. I'm on Christmas Clatter at all places, but the easiest way to get there would just be christmasclatter.com. And that's the website. And it's got all the links to YouTube, to the different social medias. I'm more active on Instagram and Facebook. I got a Twitter account, but I ain't been there, or whatever it's called now. I ain't been there in a while. But, uh, but yeah, YouTube, Christmas Clatter, Google it and I'll be there. So,
Beautiful.
yeah.
Like I said, folks, check it out. I really enjoy it. Todd does a great job with it. It's fun, it's informative, backstories, stuff, and if you feel it, if it catches you, get ready because it's a rabbit hole on the other ones too. There's music ones,
Yeah.
tinsel tunes. You had said Christmas past,
Yeah.
with all those next week's guest, Ken Smith, his North Pole News Dispatch, he's taking it to a
Yeah.
whole different
I love,
level
I love
of
what he's doing.
storytelling
Hmm.
in regards to real everyday events, Christmas events and
Yep.
stories.
Yep.
He's done a great job with that. And like I said, we'll get into that with him next week. But yeah, guys, check it out, the Christmas Clatter podcast. If you're a Christmas fan like me, you won't be disappointed. And you do a great job, brother, and keep it up for many more years coming, brother.
I'm going to try my best. For those interested, in my next episode, I'm actually going to have my mom on as a guest.
Oh, really?
Yes. So, yeah,
Nice.
on
Now, when
Wednesday,
you do it on YouTube, that is Wednesday nights,
Wednesday night,
9 Eastern.
9 Eastern. So it'll be on the November 29th, 9 Eastern. So if you get to hear this before then, we'll be there. If you don't, it'll be there as a replay. You can go check it out. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome, Todd. Well, man, thank you so much. Guys, that was all. And good luck.
Yes.
Rest up.
Yes.
We're both going to need it. We
Yes.
know what is ahead of us. We have a single goal is to get to December 23rd
Yes.
because Christmas Eve actually falls on a Sunday, which is tremendous this
Wonderful.
year.
Yes.
I don't think it has fallen on a Sunday since 2005 or
Yeah, it's been a long
2006.
yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
It has. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this one, but stay safe out there, brother.
You too, man.
Get the job done. You know, but guys, thanks for tuning in. Thank you again, Todd. Thank you to everybody. The Christmas season has come upon us. We're kicking the door down with Todd, and we're gonna have some fun episodes the rest of the way. So tune in, like I said, every Monday night, 8 o'clock, and catch the audio on Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. So until next week, keep the smoke rolling.